Scentland, the land of scent. Another city tower is being built. Concrete and glass rising up to the sky. Hello and welcome, it's Chris back with yet another fragrance review, and today it's all about City Tower. The fragrance by the house of Jacques Bogart, released in the year of 2008. There you go. It's a backup in the box actually, and the bottle itself. 2008 was the year when this has been released, and yeah, to me it's a throwback into the dark, distant 70s. Why, you could ask? It has a very, very obvious reason, and the reason is the smell itself, and also the fact that the 1970s in New York, for example, saw a lot of construction sites, new skyscrapers rising up to the air, to the sky, just like this one, and it was also a time when the crime was high in the city. And again, it has a reason why I'm telling you this, because instead of giving you or deep diving into the breakdown of this fragrance, what sort of notes we are looking at here, you could mention incense, you could mention nutmeg, cardamom, leather, musk. Yet this will not really give you how this fragrance actually does smell. So I'm going to take a different approach and give you the feeling of the fragrance. I already started to give you the feeling of the fragrance by kind of putting it into an environment and a different time. Okay, so I would say a big city in the mid 70s, let's say New York or Chicago, and let's even break that down further. So we have the city, we have the time, we still go, further into where this fragrance could be placed. Not this fragrance really, but the smell of the fragrance, the mood, the vibe, what it really gives you, how it smells like. So let's take to the streets of this big city, okay? A car is being parked, a dark, used Cadillac or Oldsmobile or Buick, or those big, good old American cars of the 1960s, 70s. A used Cadillac is being parked somewhere by the sidewalk, and inside the car there is a dark figure with bad intentions, a serial killer, a mass murderer. Maybe Dennis Rader, maybe Ted Bundy, or maybe the son of Sam. And he's looking to locate his next victim. And in his car, again a used car of the 70s, it smells of cigarettes, of an unemptied ashtray that is full with cigarettes that he smoked during all those hours, long hours of waiting, and he put them out in the car in the ashtray. The ashtray is full with this, with this used cigarette smelling, the ash, maybe some of the nicotine, and that mixes up with the used carpet smell, maybe leather carpet, maybe fabric carpet of the seats and the plastic dashboard of the car. And maybe the serial killer's leather jacket. That's the scenario, how this fragrance smells. I know it's odd, but I gave you this scenario on purpose, with a purpose to try to give you the feeling that I get from this fragrance. This fragrance has no heart. This fragrance has no feeling. It has no mass appeal at all. It smells distant, cold. It shows no mercy. There's no sweetness. It's dry. It has a bit of a barbershop classiness, overall barbershop classiness, but it doesn't even smell inviting. It smells again cool, distant, and merciless. In the coolness, I mean, there's no minty coolness or anything like that. It smells cool, like a person would, like a serial killer would smell cool and distant and weird and somehow not very appealing. Okay, but then again, I look at this fragrance more as a piece of olfactive art than something that I would necessarily would like to wear every day to the office or wherever. Although I can see this as a autumn type of fragrance where the weather itself is kind of not very welcoming, okay? And you're roaming the streets of the city and you know, it's people are closed down, they're wearing their jackets, maybe their hats in their faces, and you know, they're rushing by each other and the cars are passing by, and it's not a very friendly environment. The autumn with rain and cool weather in the city and the pavement and it's getting dark, and that's the scenario where you would wear this fragrance, where this fragrance would actually fit in perfectly. So without being having any bad intentions or being a bad person, you can still wear this fragrance, okay? But it will certainly give you this type of appeal of somebody who is unapproachable, of somebody that you look at and you say, who's this guy and what does he want, okay? Yet at the same time, as a fragrance, it's so well done. It's almost gothic. It's a piece of art, in my opinion. Definitely one of the best releases of the new millennium. One of the weirdest ones, I have to admit. Also, it's very difficult to wear, but if you find the right occasion, like if you find the right mood for a horror film to watch in the evening, you know, that's the scenario when you might have a mood not only to watch the movie but to wear this fragrance, okay? But also if you want just a bit of a solitude, you know, to be alone with your thoughts, to fight your demons maybe. This is the sort of fragrance that you would turn to. It's definitely not a crowd pleaser. It's definitely has no mass appeal, okay? Yet it has appeal for somebody who is looking for a fragrance that is giving you the impressions of all those things that I've was talking about in the past few minutes. Jacques Bogart City Tower also smells very much like the skyscrapers would, if they would have a smell, okay? But they don't have maybe a smell. Maybe if the construction is still going on, you get a lot of this concrete dust. Very much reminiscent of this smell, the concrete dust of the construction site itself where the city tower is being built. But also if it's done and if it's standing there, the city tower is very, you know, very gracious and big, and you marvel at it, but at the same time it's a very cold construction of concrete and glass, and during the nighttime it's just staring at you, and it's cold and unapproachable and larger than life. Again, Jacques Bogart City Tower is very much embodying this type of feeling, and at all times it gives you this cigarette ashtray feeling, okay? These days there's not much smoking around anymore, but that's only one of one of those reasons that I mentioned the 70s, because in the 70s you could smoke everywhere, even in live TV talk shows you could smoke. Okay, so inside a building you could smoke, inside the city tower you could smoke, inside your car people would smoke. So that's also why this very much evokes the 70s to me in some shape or form. So I leave you with these thoughts of this weird yet somehow still in some shape and form appealing fragrance for those days when you want something that is extraordinary and out of the ordinary. Bogart City Tower. Now, where do I have my Cadillac parked?